Right. So tonight we have Sammie Lei. So Sammie, do you want to tell the people about yourself?
Yeah. So I don't know where to start really. Well, I'm a filmmaker from England, and basically in 2017 I made a film called Roofed, and there were a lot of members of certain groups that came onto this film. At the time I wasn't aware of the connections to all the bigger people, and yeah, basically I ended up getting on the wrong side of a couple of these men, grown men. And for the last 7 years, they've used different platforms on YouTube to harass me, try and basically persuade people that I was a liar about what they did to me. So I went on to make YouTube videos and basically document everything that they were doing, whether it be on fake accounts or whether it was on in their real name. And what's happened over the last 6 years is I've managed to connect all the dots, and the same names keep coming up constantly. And then this humble dryer got involved, and at first I knew he had something to do with the guy that attacked me and his mates. I knew that, but I couldn't prove it. And he said in a video that he didn't know these men. And then about 3 weeks later, he was having them on a podcast where he was airing a conversation about my sexual assault. Basically, Aaron Twin and Stu Armstrong were both on there saying that I was a liar, that I'd made it all up, that I was just a complete piece of shit, basically. And these men don't even really know me. They knew me for like a couple of months due to filming. You know, it's literally because I spoke up about what Aaron Twin's best mate did to me. And they just can't stand the fact that people are starting to believe me. My rapist failed lie detectors on the Jeremy Kyle show, that, you know, I had no choice but to talk about it in the end because it went national. You know, some newspaper did a spread on it. You know, they tried to use any platform they could, including Humble Dryer, social media, U.K.B.K boxing, the Firm Fella group. They used all of that. They used Dave Courtney's face as a facade to make out that they were a scary gang that, you know, if I spoke out of place or didn't do as I was told, that I'd be in for it. I was going to get raped again. I was going to get murdered. They were sending me videos of where they could share, like, put my body, you know. Yeah, it was sick stuff. And when you don't know what you're dealing with, it's quite scary. Yeah. But when I started connecting all the dots and I saw that, you know, the main instigators, the main instigators are all connected to the U.K.B.K. And I think there are a handful of people in the Firm Fellas in the U.K.B.K. that have literally got it in for me big time. I've got a police investigation going on at the moment with a lady that's dating a Firm Fella, and she literally contacted me out of the blue a couple of weeks ago and threatened to kill me. And then she was on hate pages trying to entice all the hate and getting people involved. But yeah, it was there was a lot of people involved in the Roofed film in this hate page. So I've got to the bottom of it now, who are at the top of the pyramid for me. But then again, like yourself, you've got different people involved that are sort of, they're attached to the people that did it to me. But again, it's either in a group, it's these groups, the Firm Fella, the U.K.B.K, they're causing the platforms for these people to do what they're doing. And then when they put something out like, oh, you're a paedophile, or you're a nonce, or you're a liar, or you know, it's everybody believes these people for some reason, and I'm like, I'm sick of it.
Yeah, it's like everybody's an nonce, or everybody's a paedophile.
It's disgusting.
It's like you're into satanic rituals. You're blah blah blah. You take pictures of children. I'm thinking, oh my word, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? It's like insanity.
The thing is, it decriminalises actual paedophiles when they start throwing that word around so willy-nilly and everyone's a paedophile. You're actually liquidising the fact that what paedophiles are, and it's fucking disgusting. I've had girls, women from the U.K.B.K boxing tell me that I'm a liar about being raped, even though I've got so much evidence and text messages from the man the day after he did it. It's not the fact that they don't believe me. I've learned that now. It's the fact that they needed a reason to pray. And their little group on Facebook, when they all get together and start targeting people like yourself, it makes them feel good. Because they don't have like Humble Dryer, John Wason. I am not scared of that dude one bit. I think he's a complete melt. I think him and Donna must have a really shit sex life to be, you know, for your husband to be on the phone harassing women like yourself, who are married, it's just fucking weird. It's not
Did
right
you
in the
have
head of
any
anyone.
experiences with Donna, Sammie?
Yeah, she basically tried to set me up. She was recording her voice, and people were accusing me of being Donna, and she was doing all sorts of stuff to Decca and other people. So I had to put a recording out of Donna, her voice, and then my voice together. And although you could say it's similar, I'm not from the Essex
I
area,
don't think
so
sound like her.
some people have said it's similar. I don't think it is, but
No.
I think she sounds older than me. She doesn't, that recording you played the other night, she seems like she needs professional help.
Yeah, I thought that.
I mean, it just wouldn't cross my mind, is he abusing her?
Yeah,
because it's that kind of grooming. That's what they do. They groom. What I found was that I had a lot of friends in the making of Roofed. I made a lot of new contacts, and it was quite an exciting time to start with. It was my first independent film. I was meeting new people in the industry. I was quite naive to it all. Didn't even know who Dave Courtney was, if I'm honest. When I first went onto the Blood Feud film, I had no idea who these people were. Didn't follow U.K.B.K. I was just a girl that had come from the glamour world, and I was in a bloody film as an extra, playing a bloody stripper. Do you know what I mean? That was my first ever role in that group thing, and it kind of took on people kind of see that for life. You know, they don't realize that I'm actually 40 years old with 2 adult children. I've got my own house, my own business. Like, that's just a character I played 7 years ago. But you can't, when you've got these men targeting me and they're not letting what happened go, they just constantly, they get off on it, babe. That's what you got to understand, is when you react to it, they're actually sitting back and they're loving it. They're actually, that's what they want. And they know you're innocent, and they know you haven't done these things, and they know, and God knows exactly what they've fucking done. So yeah, like, I haven't got anything. I'm not losing sleep at night anymore. I don't think there's gangsters after me. I just think they're little boys living in a fantasy world.
But it's always like go against women, innit? It's like degrading, to try to degrade women all the time. It's like, oh, she slept with this one, she slept with that one, she's done this, she's done that. And I'm thinking, I'm 50. Do you know what I mean, Sammie Lei? It's like,
who cares if you're sleeping with midgets? That's your sex life. Do you know what I mean? Fucking what? It's because they haven't got a sex life. They just, it's weird behaviour. This is what I mean. I'm not used to this kind of. I've never been trolled in my life up into this.
No. And then we had it's all the usual suspects. So it's like, then you get that Anne, and she was doing stuff about satanic stuff and saying I was taking pictures of children for Brian to pick which one he wanted. Just absolutely.
They create controversy so that the flying monkeys latch on, and then you end up. I mean, sometimes it will be that it's one person on 4 accounts attacking you. You think it's 4 people, but it's Humble. He's a complete waste of space, the guy. I mean, I was a bit sort of, when I first heard of Humble Dryer, I didn't know a name, I didn't know a face for him. He was on fake accounts and he was well hidden. And then Donna's voice came out, something to do with Decca. Then Decca's come at me trying to like accuse me of being a troll, and I was like, don't even know who you are. Why would I troll you? My agency tried to get hold of him and a guy called George Guest, but we were told to fuck off by Decca's dad. And then 3 weeks later, Decca got in contact with me on Instagram and we spoke, and he apologized to me. He told me that he'd found out who Donna and Humble actually was and that he was sorry. And then a few weeks later, Humble put it out that he had actually set me up. Not only that, they'd messaged people I know in my private life and caused shit. They'd set up fake accounts pretending to be me. They caused so much shit in my life, so that I had people thinking I was sending nasty messages and putting up hate stuff on people's work pages. I was having that done to me as well, but because they've got like all these different groups that follow them, when they put out something about Sammie Lei or Emma Cockerill, you've got then thousands of people that automatically believe these men.
It's crazy.
And I'm just so glad I don't live near any of them, because you know what I mean? I was in a bad place a few years ago. I had everybody. What I've noticed, and it seems to be a thing a man does. I'm sorry, men out there that are lovely, because I do know some lovely men. But what I've noticed with a few ex-boyfriends and things like that is when they don't get their own way, and you talk about the abuse they put you through, you actually stand up and say, I'm not having this, I'm telling people, They then do this really narcissistic thing where they'll twist it and they'll say that you're the abuser, and then they run to the courts and the police and they try to manipulate the situation because you're talking about it. That's it. You haven't done anything violent, you haven't, you know, gassed anyone's house or bombed anyone's house, but because you're speaking about, I mean, today you've had threats, because if you mention someone's name, they're going to do all these things to you and take you to court. It's bullshit. But that's what they tried to do. They tried to scare you into silence. And that's what they've tried to do to me for 7 years. Not just the men, there have been women as well. Not so much anymore. It has been quite quiet.
How can these women question somebody who's been raped or been abused? You know what I mean? It's like horrendous, isn't it? Because unless you've actually been there, it'd be the last thing on your mind to say someone's lying about something. Do you know what I mean?
I've had a guy called Clark Tribe he's been getting women from the U.K.B.K to ring me up trying to get my address. He's rang mutual friends of ours trying to get my address. He's at the stem of it because there was a lady called Stacey Busher, like I say, she's with a firm fella. Out of the blue one day, she messaged me trying to be my friend. Then she went on to trying to catfish me, basically, saying that she was worried about me and if I needed a shoulder to cry on. That's kind of what I thought you were at first, if I'm totally honest, no offense. But yeah, it turned out, as soon as I said I knew she was connected to Clark Tribe and that he's had a couple of people try and get in contact with me, she kicked off. She threatened to kill me, break my neck. She was in group chats enticing everyone, but she tagged 3 certain people within the industry that I knew they were involved, and it kind of the thing is, when they get so many people involved, babe, and Humble Dryer, they start all to leave paper trails. And over time, what you'll do is, because you're collecting everything, you'll be able to tell your story, and they will show themselves for what they are.
And that's 1,000,000%. And there's just so many people. I can't believe the amount of people that these same group of people have upset. I mean, there's people that have actually been close to suicide, and then they haven't dared to speak out, or they're watching this but they don't speak because of what they went through in the past. And
I think, you know, it's a time to mention Paula that did commit suicide. You know, these people went after her, and she was, you know, aspiring actress. She'd done Coronation Street. She was doing really well. And I've got a friend that knows her. I never had the pleasure to meet her, but she actually did kill herself because of these nasty flying monkeys that get involved, up the pressure. And, you know, we're dealing with what happened. We don't need to be dealing with horrible little nasty people online that, you know, people like Stu Armstrong was, you know, he came on board, he was respectful, I had no issues with him, he's quite a good actor. And then he literally, for no reason, just decided to take Aaron and Stacey's side, the guy that raped me, for no reason whatsoever. I'd done nothing to him. And then he told me that he was going to ruin my life on social media and make my life hell. And, you know, he did. I mean, 6 years later, he's on Humble Dryer. I think it was like 6 months ago. He was on Humble Dryer's podcast talking about my sexual assault, telling people I was a liar. You know, this man didn't say, look, you know, she's an actress that I work with, I'm staying out of it, like a lot of people did. There's a lot of high-profile actors watching now, and they knew what was going on. They knew what this man put me through, but they didn't say anything. They just let me get on with it, and no one said, you know, actually she's all right, I've worked with her. Like, they just let this fantasy of me being a lying cow go about, and it's quite disheartening.
When I see the clip on the thing where Humble was saying, oh, she was saying it because she's got a film coming out. I mean, like, what is going on in there? Please,
the film came out way before. The film came out in 2017. I was raped in 2018.
And nobody's got the right to question anything that somebody's done to you like that. Do you know what I mean? And it was on Jeremy Kyle, and he was proved to be lying, wasn't he?
Yeah, unfortunately, they weren't allowed to mention all the rape allegations shit. And I think, you know, I wanted to kill Jeremy Kyle. I was so disgusted with this ITV production they gave me less than 24 hours to make a decision whether I wanted to be picked up by a stranger, driven to Manchester, go on a show, sit next to my rapist and his girlfriend and talk about everything but that. And I was like, no fucking chance. I'm not doing that. And I thought, we'll wait for the police to do their thing. And it turned out the police were also corrupt as well. They removed evidence from my pack. They basically left me waiting for ages. They told me that my case had gone to the CPS. I've got an email proving that. And then the CPS wrote back to me 9 months later telling me that the police had never forwarded my case. We're now in a situation with society where the police are actually not sending rapists to prison anymore because there's no room in prison. So now I know why the police didn't put any effort in. I thought it was just me at the time and I took it so personally. But now I've realised there are thousands of men, women and children that do not get their day in fucking court because of arseholes like this. So YouTube is my court. YouTube is my court. Let the people know, and you'll get so many more people than 10 fucking stuck up jury that are probably like being paid off anyway because of the firm, you know. So that's what I did, babe, and I think you're doing the same. And I know a couple of other women that did the same, and now they've done it to too many people. It's,
I agree.
Hugh Armstrong doesn't want to be mentioned. He shouldn't have got involved doing podcasts with known rapists and abusers. And he shouldn't have been threatening women because all the threats he gave you today, he did exactly the same to me 6 years ago. And a male friend of mine, he was going to have bailiffs come round. He wanted money off me for graphics, and he's just complete melt. So what I've learned over the last 7 years, these guys have threatened to rape me. 5 black men were going to come around my house and rape me up the death threats. Like I say, it's been awful, the stuff I've gone through. A couple of them were dealt with by the police, but the police have to, like, they can't go after a group of people. They can only go after people that send death threats, if there's threats to kill or threats of rape. Like, they can't really do anything without, she's a bitch, she's a nag, he said this, she said that. They're not interested. So they're basically, it's like being back at school again.
It's awful. And rape is a really hard thing to prove, because I've been through the same thing, but mine was 2 men had done it, and they got the jury, the CPS were wanting to know which one touched at whatever point. It was in darkness, and they were both trying to grab me at the same time in all different places, and they were wanting to know which one at which time, which is impossible when you're in that situation and you're trying to get people off you. You can't say, well, that one did it then and that one did it, because it's pitch black. And the CPS no further action done. I did get paid out by criminal injuries. I did question that, why they paid me out, and they said because we know it's happened to you, but it's really hard with these cases to go through, and it's a horrible time. And these people, the likes of Humble and the likes of Donna, will use the vulnerabilities and use them people who've sexually assaulted people to try and gain one up or whatever they're trying to do.
They're just trying to victimize their victims even further. That's basically what they're doing, and they sit back and watch. I mean, this guy Clark Tribe, he's been involved since 2017. He's right at the front line with the Firm Fellas and the U.K.B.K. He's the main instigator.
What they are? Will you explain to the people what the Firm Fellas are? They're like a...
Yeah, so basically, when I went onto the set of Roofed, there was this group of people that called them the Firm Fellas, and they make out that, like, Dave Courtney is the head of the Firm Fellas. What I found out way after the rape, when I spoke to Dave Courtney about it, because I wanted him to sort of have a word with him and stop him from all harassing me, he basically told me that he didn't have anything to do with the Firm Fellas and that he was just a mascot. They were basically a fan club that followed him. And they fantasize over being gangsters, basically, putting pictures up, fabricating that they run debt collecting agencies. Just basically, there's thousands of them in these groups that sort of goad each other on, if that makes sense. So they all sort of go along with this sort of fantasy thing.
Like Mickey Goldtooth Gangster too.
Yeah, he's a part of it. Yeah, he's part of it.
And with guns and all that. And
you've seen it. They've all got the little label, or the knuckle dusters, or do you know what I mean? So there's all this sort of there's these rules apparently within the firm that, you know, you can't have a tattoo of a knuckle duster put on you unless Dave's giving you a pair of knuckle dusters, and there's certain ranks within the firm that, you know, you've also got the firm lasses. So you got the Firm Fellas, and then basically what they told me was I had a Firm Fella come forward and basically tell me that he knew who was bullying me He was involved to start with, but when he realised how sinister and disgusting it was getting, he decided to basically out them all, and he did. And it made so much sense to me. He was like an angel, if I'm honest. I was dealing with so many nasty people that were managing to take my real friends away from me. I lost so many friends through this because they believed the rumours and the lies and that. And yeah, this guy just came from out of nowhere and didn't doubt me. Told me about all the other people that were involved, and because I didn't know this guy and he knew everyone that, you know, the names he was throwing at me, I knew who they were talking. I knew it was them. So yeah, it was just so nice to have someone say to me, look, you're not going crazy, this is real. And this is how they play. He taught me how to look out for things on YouTube, how to deal with catfishes and trolls. Yeah, and it was just like I was enlightened, and then I started to learn about narcissistic abuse. And you know how the NARC works. It's like a demonic spirit that comes after you and doesn't release you and shit. So yeah, like it's all been a bit of a whirlwind. But I'm quite glad that I've experienced not what happened in the hotel, but you know, and I'm not glad that other women have had to suffer. I wish people had noticed my videos before. But that was the reason I did the videos. So
because to stop it happening to others, because like you said about Paula earlier as well, Paula knew she'd been drugged. She'd got invited there by, I think it was a woman, one of the ones that goes there all the time. Is it Maureen?
The women can just be as bad, to be honest.
And she'd fell asleep and she knew what had happened the next morning when she woke up, but she couldn't go to the police because obviously she'd been drugged. And then she probably woke up and thought, still under the effects of the drug. And then it's horrendous. And when she's tried to speak out about it, people put the silencers on her for it to go into the book, which she wanted it in with Bronson and me. Do you know what I mean? And it wasn't able to go in, but it was Paula's wishes that it was to go in a book. But certain people said they were going to sue her and sue the writer, and it's horrendous, really.
Yeah. The thing is, you can only sue if it's not true. Defamation is only if it's not true. If you can prove something in court, like I say, if these people are doing podcasts and sending trolling messages, they don't really have much ground to stand on. It's gone too far. It's been going on too long. I mean, apparently it's been going on 25 years. My story doesn't date back that long. But there are other people.
Yeah, they were in a group when they trolled Paula as well. I think it was a Facebook group. Many people tried to get her help. They were calling her all names on the sun, the worst horrible names. But men were just standing back and letting it go on.
Yeah, they do. I was told to kill myself. There were people in the film Roofed that didn't get involved in the bullying, but they knew the men that were bullying me, and they're still friends with them on Facebook. So they were still guilty by association. They didn't.
I said to you last night, didn't I? I said I didn't even know we had one of the main bloody ones on our thing, Facebook, because you don't know who they are, do you? Until like obviously you mentioned it last night, and I was like, I'm sure we've got him on our.
Yeah, he's everywhere, baby. He's one of the main ringleaders. He's at the front, like at the top. If you think of it as a pyramid scheme, you've got these guys that are actually grooming not just the women, the men as well, because they're sort of basically saying, you know, if you do this for us, you'll be a part of the firm. And it's not the real firm. You know, the firm is so much higher. The original firm, I call it the firm and the sperm fella. So you've got like little boys running around that love the Cray family and, you know, the Cray twins and the whole story of the gangsters. And they're believing that they're a part of this group that Dave Courtney runs and the U.K.B.K.
think the gangster type people and they're not. So they just want.
I think they're ex-criminals and things like that, but you know, not every ex-criminal is a gangster. They're just people that have made mistakes. You know, I don't judge anyone, but there are people in there that are sadistic when it comes to sex, and you know, I mean, some of the stuff people have sent me is disgusting. Yeah, and I've had women send it as well. I've had women tell me that they're Aaron Twins' friend, and telling me that she can get any man to come around and do me in the thing. And you think that's coming from a woman? It's disgusting. Like, and I didn't understand it, but once I was explained that there are other victims like yourself, and there are other people like Humble Dryer getting involved, and it's no wonder you get a load of strangers jumping on the bandwagon. And then unfortunately, people that really do know you, they start to kind of believe it because so many people are saying shit about you.
Crazy. I had to break down a bit like you. I went to pieces when they were sending horrendous messages. Steve Max on here, loads of people are supporting you, Sammie. But it's horrendous, the things that they say and the things that they're doing. They threaten dogs, they threaten to come and rape you, they threaten to book Brian on a live. Well, if we bum him, he might book back, and then we'll do the dog. And it was like, what is going on here? And then I was looking on going onto YouTube, and then you'd have Anne thingy going on at me saying, "Oh, she's a handmaiden of the devil. My face in the handmaiden of the devil." Saying I was doing satanic.
It's a bunch of black.
It's like, and I did crack up, but it's just.
They're just crazy people that get involved, though, babe. You've got to learn not to let these people actually have it's called like reactive abuse. So they're throwing it, they're trying to get you to react, and then they're sitting back and loving it. And once I learned that, now when someone tries to poke my buttons, I'm kind of like, yeah, all right, you little narc bitch, let's go.
Yeah,
you know, I see you. So it's kind of like, I don't let them get to me anymore. I know they try, and the threats and stuff. If they were going to do something, they would have done it.
And the labelled men as well. So like Paddy Conroy, he got labelled a paedophile. Brian got labelled a paedophile. It's just like the same MO with them all, isn't it? It's like weird.
But weird he's thinking of that as well. I mean, why would that sit on your head, that word? It's a bit...
Yeah, it's strange. Do you know what? Before I came onto this YouTube, I've never heard that. I must have heard that word 5 times in my whole life, right? And I'm 50, and that's to say till 40 odd. I've heard it about 5 times, and it was always a horrendous story.
YouTube's amazing. You know, my daughter's learned so much from YouTube. Like, she's just qualified and gone into the army. Bless her. I'm so proud of her. But yeah, YouTube. She's learned geography, history, like everything. We didn't have that when we were at school. You know, so YouTube does have a really good educational part to it, but there's a cesspit of snakes that use it for a different, you know, I mean, I think if there wasn't moderations on YouTube to stop like nudity and things like that, there probably would be a darker channel on YouTube, but because it's kind of moderated, there's not. So what we're dealing with is basically the scum of YouTube.
Yeah, Mandy G's comment in there. She said there seems to be a wall of silence or acceptance for their disgusting behaviour, and that's true, isn't it?
They discard you once you start fighting back, and they realise that, oh shit, she's got evidence on me, and there's other people, and that they start to say that you're crazy, you've got mental issues, and then just don't listen to her, just talk, don't, and she'll go away. They attacked me, had my YouTube channel taken down. They were reporting stuff. I ended up losing my channel, my Facebook, but I just reset it up. I know enough people to re-add me. They're not that powerful as much as they think they are on YouTube.
And Sammie's got some great documentaries on her channel, which we'll put the link in and everything tonight for people to go up and have a look. Steve Max saying Humble is being used by police to catch certain high-profile criminals by goading them until they mess up and get caught doing wrong. He has no connections in the northeast. Why is he speaking about people in the northeast? Yeah, I get what you're saying, Steve, and it's right. Why is him from Scotland like talking about all loads of garbage, and it's all lies? Bad Boy Jeweler, they're twisted, subhuman, kids and adults, disgusting, humans, leg slippers in Scarborough. Yeah, that's right. Let me see what else brings in. What was on Jeremy Carson's asking?
If you watch my documentary that's on my Facebook, it's got literally everything. It starts off in 2017, how I met Dave Courtney, how I met each fella, where it led on to the rape, and then basically goes on to tell what happened after the rape, and literally up to last week when I got that death threat from Miss Stacey Busher, another fella member that decided to message me. I couldn't understand why this lady, she's like 50 something, she's a middle-aged lady, and she messaged me threatening to kill me because of something to do with Clark. I couldn't really follow it. And then it turns out she had a bit of a thing for Clark. She'd put posts up saying that she liked him. So there was your motive. She was just a flying monkey, nothing to really worry about. Like, I hadn't actually, like a lot of people, I haven't actually offended these people personally. They're just literally not getting involved or staying away because of the people involved, the scare people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did Humble, was it right did I get it right when you said Humble had actually put out there that you'd approached him about your rape as well?
Yeah, lying little shitbag.
Right.
I'd never spoken
Amazing.
to him or Donna. Never spoken to them in my life,
That
ever.
is
Still to
crazy.
this
That
day,
is
never.
sick to say that you approached him and asked him about that.
Yeah, no, I've never spoken to him. He the first thing I knew about Humble was there was a guy called Nab Speed who run a page called the Fernfella page and other pages as well, but it was all to do with the gangster world. That one you said, gangster tours as well. They're all over it, same people. So yeah, there was a hate page that had gone up and they were naming me as troll number 2 and a guy called John Silver, troll number 1. And I didn't know this John Silver, like, no idea, never met. And yeah, basically, I went on for like a year. Must have been a year, like every day getting nasty messages from different people, calling me a troll, calling me a liar, trying to basically ruin my reputation online, cause a bad reputation like they do, calling me names. I was called a paedophile as well. Mother of 2, and I've done quite a good job for the last 23 years, but hey, they don't take that shit into account. But yeah, no, it was literally Humble Dry started coming on and saying things that just weren't true. That's when I knew not to trust him, because I thought, if he's lying about me, how many other people is he lying about? And if he's getting things wrong with like what I'm saying, you know, he's basically watching my videos and then he's reallocating back what I'm saying.
Constantly on a daily basis. That's all he seems to do. John Silver's saying, why has Humble and Donna never been arrested?
I have no idea. I mean, the police, I haven't got time of day for the old bill, to be honest. I think they're a bunch of mugs. I think they're just puppets. They don't have much power. They come here, they take a statement, they write, but it's not down to them what they take on. It's down to the CPS. So the CPS can't sort out what they don't know about. And also, we just don't have the funding to deal with this sort of thing. So they wait until someone's actually been stabbed. And then, you know, even when that does happen, they barely get that into court. So yeah, the system's just fucked.
It is.
I would never go if I could have my time again. I wouldn't have gone to the police. I'd have just kept my mouth shut, if I'm honest. It would have just been easier.
And they arrested Brian, and they still never reacted to the 999 call of the petrol bomb. So it's just absolutely bizarre, really, when you think about it. People asking, just quickly, just that, you know, Brian's still in hospital. Hopefully he's out in a couple of days. Let me have a look. 2 secs. Hi, Nelly. 2 seconds. I heard about a woman got raped by the police. It took about years to get a conviction. It's awful. Yeah, anybody that has been raped, no person or anybody has any right to question anybody. It's horrendous. And I mean, like, I'm so proud of you because you're speaking out about it, and you've got the documentary which is going to help others to speak out. I mean, poor Paula, like we said, she isn't here no more, but the amount of things I'm hearing about this group is
awful. And when you're just one woman talking about it, nobody wants to help you, no one wants to get involved. You taint things, you know. I mean, I do feel guilty of what happened because it did taint the film Roofed. And it was almost like the film started to write itself and become real. And I think what happened was some of the actors involved in the film took the fantasy a little bit too far. And I've ended up having to deal with the repercussions, but they get off on the fact that, I mean, they don't like it now that videos are getting done about them and stuff, but when it was reversed and it was videos being done about me, they were loving it. And, you know, there were a lot of the big ones like Clark Tribe, a couple of the girls from the U.K.B.K boxing that just sit back and watch the show. They don't have to do anything themselves. They get someone to do their dirty work and then promise them that they'll basically go up a level. So when you've got someone in the inside that knows, well, was a part of them and knew all the tricks and traits and was taught everything, like, you know, I believe everything he says. I know that there's trolls out there trying to basically say that John Silver's crazy and, you know, he's a liar and he's just in it for whatever reason they're saying, but he's the only one that's actually made sense out of all of it. And for a man I don't know to have all the information that I do know about these people, how can it not be true?
John's in the comments. John, are you going to nip on if I?
Yeah, I think John should come and say his bit for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Let me have a look. Are you still in, John? I'm
just going to get a bottle of water. I'll be 2 seconds.
Yeah, okay. Are you all timer? Are you J.K. Tracy? Let me have a look. Is John still here? Let me have a look. Oh, I've got loads of comments. Sorry, I'm about 5 pages behind, I think.
Can you give a shout out to Anne Marie?
Yeah, of course.
She's one of my babes.
Oh,
she said she's going to be watching.
Right, he's he's here. Right, so John, I'm unsure how to do this. Right, so how do I copy and paste on an iMac? I'm so thick, Sammie. Hold on, let me have a look. Could you? Oh, I could send him it from what I sent it on you, can I? So copy and paste. Is that what I do? Yeah. 2 seconds. I sent it to you on Facebook today. So if I copy and send that to John, right? John, I've sent it to your Instagram, I think. No, have I? Yeah, sent it. I sent it to your Instagram, John. Have you got it? Up. John Silver, adding as guest. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do now. Let me see if he's got it. Sammie, have you got John on Insta?
Yeah.
Yeah, will you make sure he's got that link for me? I think. Oh, yeah, he's got it. He's got it,
yeah.
Yes, so I think I have to change this to 3 people now, the screen.
I think it was only when John started to come into all this, especially my side, it was only that was when my people that kind of didn't know whether to believe me or not started to believe me.
What am I called? With EBTIAN? Brian must have been using a StreamYard and it's gone on to, I think he's trying to spell his name. He's dyslexic, Brian. Right, perfect. Got to read it. Right, John, are you there? I think he must be trying to do it. Everyone's saying much respect to you, Sammie, for speaking out. And
thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just sorry someone else has had to go through it, like, well, many people. But I think the more people that sort of say the name Humble, I mean, I don't know what the connection with Stu Armstrong, Aaron Swin and Humble Dryer was, but the fact that he gave them a platform to do what they did and talk about what they talked about was pretty horrible. And I think, you know, for someone like Stu to have even gone on there and got involved with the whole thing, that was what makes me believe they're enjoying it, because it was 7 years ago. Why are you still doing podcasts and airing shit out? You know, it's
a recent podcast, Sammie. Yeah,
it's in the documentary. I cut everything. So there's the Jeremy Kyle shows in the documentary. You've got the all the proof, the text messages. Yeah, it's just like everything from 2017 to now. And how, and basically where we're at now. So I'm currently going through a police investigation with one of the firm fella's girlfriends who threatened to have me killed. I don't know whether she's just a gobby little mare or whether there is some sort of plan in action with these people. So that's another reason why I've done my video. So if anything does happen to me again, there's the evidence out there. And again, if it happens to someone else, maybe they'll be more believed straight away because I'm saying the same thing. So
it's absolutely horrendous, isn't it?
You can't rely on the police, babe. They're shit.
Yeah, it certainly are. How do we paste on here? More tools, help settings, save and share. I'm just trying to get this up for John. I found it. Paste. Right, so paste. John, this, I think it's on in the comments now. Can you see it? It wouldn't let him go in through Instagram, I don't think. Can you see it, Sammie? I haven't got a clue.
I'm pretty crap at this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I am.
Can't you send him the link to his Instagram?
I've sent him the link on Instagram, but he's saying it's not letting him come on.
Oh.
So I've put it into you. Maybe you'll be able to get on for me. I think you've got to have Chrome, is it, Isa? Mandy G, thank you for coming in. Mandy's had experiences, same thing, putting her stuff out recently, like a picture and stuff on Instagram, and Donna saying, I'm going to let all the people that you've upset know all the details where you are and stuff like that. I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, it's really childish stuff that they do. They've raped and recorded girls and tried to use that against them as well, so that they can't, you know, so they don't speak out. Yeah, honestly, the stories are just crazy, and it dates back, like I say, 25 years.
Yeah, I just think that they've told that many guys now, then here he is. They're not getting believed so much, and I think that if we are strong and we all still speak out about these people in the hope that it doesn't keep happening, do you know what I mean?
What I really hope from this video is that people that are a part of the femme fella that now know what's going on don't give it the time of day anymore, and don't back these people up, because you're being used just as much as we were. You know, John was used. You know, it was they're just bright people.
Yeah.
So, hi, John.
Hi, John.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Would you like to introduce?
Hello, everyone.
Hiya.
Yeah, so John Silver was originally one of the firm fellas. I was part of the 216 promotion team with Chantal Richardson for what was the U.K.B.K fight for the governor, which is where I sort of, during that period of promoting Heggie without any knowledge of what was really happening, I didn't know anything about DECA at all. What really happens is that, you know, I'm just led a long tale about this is going to be the greatest thing since the Lenny fights and the other fights. There was a lot of other people promoting it as well. So Joey Pyle, Ricky English, many others. And it was just an absolute farce. I mean, it was a thrown fight. So, you know, people that had paid money to come and see a fight weren't expecting to see a fixed fight. Now, I know that they got a lot of flack for that. And I know that, you know, I mean, me and Joey fell out, but I've got no issue with the man. I really haven't. He's completely out of this now. But yeah, I mean, I've been listening all the way along, and you know, what you're saying is absolutely bang on point. What I will say is that, yeah, I try to pull the curtain back to show you how they do it. So these groups were originally set up to really sort of show the work, you know, and put this stuff out that was going out. But by connecting all of us together, I started seeing things like at their charity events, money going missing. Now, what I've done is I've gone backwards and I've watched a lot of the original Cray videos that are all over Facebook, all over YouTube. But then if you connect the dots, it all joins together. So the firm fellas, BKB boxing. So after you go to BKB boxing, Joe Brown and Dove, can't remember Dovey's first name, but I know it's Dove. So they are the guys that run the BKB at the O2. After the BKB at the O2, you then go back to Dave Courtney's house. It's the after-show party. But at the time, you know, Neil Speed was handing out these medals with firm fellas written on it. And there's children at these events, and these people are wearing mankinis. And yet they're accusing myself, Sammie, and others as we're all the pedos and perverts. And yet they do things that show, you know, that they're unhinged. A lot of people are on benefits that came on social media. They wanted to add all the gangsters. They wanted to have all of us in a group. They could then try and pretend to others as if they know us. So if they know us, they could then bully other people by using Dave's name, my name, and others. What happens is I really fell out quite big with the firm fellas, but that was more of a personal thing over business and what we were trying to do. But I was talking about like knife prevention, so on and so forth, and other things that we could have done. We also brought disabled people to the boxings, but I was working with adaptive boxing at the time. And working at adaptive, all these people were just Facebook businesses. When you go back onto Company's House, because a lot of the people that are trolling everyone, you know, what they're doing is they're getting our addresses by going to 192.com, or they're going on to Company's House and then looking our name up and then looking what businesses we've got, and then they've got our address. So there's different ways of doing it. Now, in the old days, what they were doing in firm fellas, elite, was they had people like that were they were ex-coppers, you know. But then some of these ex-coppers my question to someone very high up was, how comes none of these fuckers keep getting nicked and yet we all do? Now, what it is because the heads will never speak out about you on a video. They get the underlings. So it, as what Sammie was saying about the pyramid scheme, you know, that's really primarily what it is the people right at the top rip all of us off.
Yeah.
And then when we then turn against them or make some remarks, they'll just block us and then cunt us off as if we're the bad people here. They're the bad people. I mean, you know, a lot of people are beginning to speak out now in different groups about Dave Courtney. And there's a lot more to be said about that. But if we stick to the point in hand right now, yes, I've come in to help some of the ladies that have been targeted, although I was being accused of being the one targeting them, but I wasn't. All I've ever done is try and at least give the information to people. So even if in years to come that people look at these videos and they say to themselves, you know what, I'm not going to join these groups, you know, because it's all fiction. And a lot of the real, you know, the really heavy hitters from that sort of collection of people are really, a lot of them are dead or they're in homes and they're just trying to, you know, rebuild this group now that Dave's dead. So there's fake craze, there's all kinds of weirdos right now that myself and Sammie were laughing about yesterday. But the years that we was involved in this, the trolling that we got, the hate campaign, we've never actually met. I've never met Sammie in person. So there's allegations that me and her are dating or that I'm doing this to be an actor in her films. It's not about that for me. It was never about the money. It was about, I was offended that during being part of their team, that I'm not going to say I was as bad as them, but I suppose, you know, there were things that were happening that I was part of that I'm not happy about now. And I've tried to fix that. I've tried to come to the aid of the girls that have been affected so badly by these people. Now, one thing I will say about that little group of nutcases is that some of them are extremely dangerous because they're on benefits. They sit on social media all day and they just sit there ready. They want the hate out there. I don't know why, you know. But then some of us feel like there's an evil path on YouTube. And then there's other people, which I heard Sammie talk about the education of YouTube, which is amazing. You know, a lot of these platforms are not made for all of us to come onto and start shouting and screaming, because then no one listens to what we've got to say. If there's any questions from anyone that's watching, so I'm not going to look at any comments. I'm just going to, you know.
Mandy G said she's had this for 4 or 5 years off them, and I mean, it's still
I'm
posted.
sorry to hear that, Mandy G. I really am. I really am very sad to hear that. But this is what happens. You fall out in the groups, they character assassinate you to a level that is unheard of. But then they go further. They start turning up at your house and they start leaving smoke bombs outside. They brick your windows. I've had my house firebombed. I've lost every item, every piece of property I ever owned went up in a fire because of the evidence that I had on them and a book that I'd finished. Now, again, this isn't about books or films or nothing. If I'm honest, I don't really want to continue in this. I want this to stop. I want these weirdos to stop harassing people on social media, because otherwise there are people behind us right now that are talking to the appropriates about putting something together to really stop this. Now, if there are people out there that are interested in helping, it has to be within reason, because we've been catfished before, myself and Sammie, where people offer help, but they're really there just to try and get information out of us. And then they try and turn myself against Sammie and vice versa. But we've never fallen out. I mean, we just...
I know what you mean.
We had to distance ourselves. We had to take a break. We both lost our minds. We come together just recently.
I had an ex-partner that used the court system to stop me talking about abuse he'd put me through on YouTube. And I was silenced, so I couldn't do anything for a year. And that's what a lot of men are doing, and women, sorry, you know, women and men. This narcissistic demon will use the court process and then tell all the flying monkeys that, see, you know, they stopped from talking about me. But hang on, what am I talking about? I'm talking about what you were doing to me. And yeah, at the end of the day, I've just learned the flying monkeys now. You're never going to stop it.
But the
when you're well known, you're not going to stop it.
Yeah, we had one called Irish Bully who used to come in ours, and he was a nightmare, to tell you the truth. He was like one of those ones who's really loud, blocks everybody. Anyway, cut long one short, he was on the channel for ages. Now he's #1 fanboy for them, doing videos saying the brick that came through this window should have killed me and I should be pushing daisies up. He wants to dig that Brian's dad up and piss in his mouth and stuff like this. And I mean, the stuff, and that's on Bulls fanboy, do you know what I mean? It's horrendous.
Things, unfortunately, what's happened is things have happened in our name, because the people that follow us, they then troll the shit out of them. So there's a war that no one can see. Now, I am constantly at this moment, because you both know what happened earlier to me today. And, you know, I could be getting lifted very soon because of a fight that took place. But I don't like bullies. I like taking the rubbish out. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, well, no marks on me. But, yeah, a little something took place earlier. So I'm sorry I didn't come into this earlier.
Mr. England, do you think the police informers?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Me and Sammie,
I was going to say, did you want to tell people about his side to Donna?
Sorry, what was that?
What you know about Donna Humble?
Okay, so initially, with what was going on with myself and the Humbles, it was her. It was never him. I only dealt with her. But then Sammie come into my life, and I was confused. I had a lot of things going on, and I actually thought that Sammie was Donna, because the voice, they sounded similar-ish. But now, when you start listening to Sammie now on here against Donna the other day, you can hear it's not the same person. But I was confused. But we were all being catfished and trolled, and it's only recently that me and Sammie have really seen through all of what's gone on. But it takes a long time to really understand, because it's so complex. It's so complex. And it's thousands of people. Thousands of people.
She's as bad as him, isn't she, really?
I don't understand. I've never understood their part in this, other than the fact that it feels as if that they're trying to get us killed or hurt or whatever the case might be. But what place do they play? What part do they really play in this?
They wanted me dead. They want me dead.
They wanted me dead. You know, he's threatened me in relation to doing this, and basically saying, you know, I hope your friends and family are going to be okay with this. Basically, more or less saying to me that, you know, that's him saying without saying it, which is why he talks in riddles, because he talks in riddles so he doesn't get nicked. So he lets myself and others go to prison on his behalf, and then he buys them off while they're in prison. I've taken a single penny or a T-shirt or anything, any of their dues in relation to, like, this is not a hate campaign from me against them because I feel like I've lost out. No, I'm just going to show you guys how they do it, why they do it, and that's all. Nothing more, nothing less.
You were like a lifesaver, honestly, John. If it wasn't for John, I think I probably would have committed suicide or something, because at that time when you came into it, I was like, no one was believing me, and you know, there was a handful of close friends that knew me, not social media people. You
needed the real firm fella.
And I just thought, you know, if people are going to just really believe these men, and these men were laughing at those people because they knew what they'd done.
I knew exactly what they'd done. That's their campaign, is throwing mud.
John, you've had like a warning off Humble. Does your family know about this?
Well, as I've told you before, privately, is that like, once you really sort of understand that no one's ever really coming for you, they'll say they're going to come for you. They never do. You know, it's all bullshit. But they will leave stuff outside houses. They will try and put the threat on. But this is they took what we originally set up was to sort of share the information within the firm fellas. They turned it into a weapon. They weaponized fucking firm fellas. And then they started targeting me and Sammie as troll 1 and 2, just as if we're partners in crime. We're not. We don't know each other. It's that simple. Right. All I've ever done.
Someone's asking you, how high up in the firm fellas is the puppet master Humphreys?
I would say, now that Dave's dead, I'd say he's number 1. Maureen is the other person, because they were the plastic gangsters that were going into the prisons to fight. Well, they were taking presents and money in for the rent, or not rent boys, but they were people in prison that were doing sexual favors for the craze, but the others were taking presents in. So they were complicit in what was happening. So Steve Rafe, Maureen Flanagan, although I don't really want anyone to start on Maureen because she's 84, I don't think it's fair. They've all said in their own videos, in all that stuff on YouTube from back in the day, they're all in the videos, and they've all admitted that the charities are fake. Most of these charities don't get no more than about 10%, if that. And they're about to do another event at the Blind Beggars after I was promised it wasn't going to happen no more, because this is their last crime they're going to try and commit, where people are going to get robbed and taken advantage of again. So is it charity? No. It's just a way of them selling their books and their words and so.
There's a lot of people still waiting for the auction stuff to come through from Brendan. They've already paid money, but they're waiting still for stuff. So
yeah, that's what they do. That's their MO. They just rip people off. They rip people off and tell us all to go fuck ourselves.
Yeah, Brendan told me that I brought on the sexual assault myself. He actually said those words to me. Wow. I couldn't believe it when he did. I was just like, because the thing is, David kind of made out to me when I spoke to Dave Courtney. He told me that Aaron Twin, Clark Tribe, and what lot, they were just a bunch of guys that came to his house, took photos, and they weren't part of the firm. It was just part of this firm fella, like. No,
and the thing is Dave part of the firm? Dave's not part of the firm. Dave's a wanker.
They all lied, though. I think they all knew. I think they all knew. For Brendan then to turn around to me after David died, I spoke to Brendan on the phone, and he basically said at the end of it, he went, "Yeah, but come on, girl, you do bring it on yourself." And I was like, do you know what, Brendan? If that's your fucking mentality, I'm done with you. And I put the phone down on him and blocked him.
How does any girl bring rape on themselves? How does any girl bring rape on themselves? How? That's what an animal that man is.
Been hurt by Aaron Twin and Stacey, but they haven't came out. They've come to
they
me,
will,
but they haven't spoke up about it. So it's hard, you know, when you know stuff about people and you can't even talk about what these men have done to other women because those women aren't ready yet. And they're not ready yet
because they're still afraid of what is left of the firm fellas. But they're sperm fellas. They're no ones. They're no ones. I mean, they're hangers on at best. I mean, the real connection, as I said about Rafi and all that, is they're all there. They're all actually engaged in working with the craze while I was in prison. There's an old saying that they made more money when they was in prison than they did ever when they was outside. They were making fucking.
Oh, where is he? You'll come back in. John, do you need the link again? Let's have a look.
We was having technical issues last night as well. We kept hanging up.
I can't believe this. Leon's saying Amanda was stalking Sammie under soccer council, drawing her in like she was a friend, sick when she was a vulnerable woman at the time. Horrendous, Sammie.
There were so many people involved and people that weren't even like doing the bullying. They were still watching it. So it's pretty shit, really.
Yeah. Let me have a look. Is John still in the chat? Jaleese, would you be able to find the link for John? I think it took me too long to copy and paste it.
Yeah.
To put it in the chat. Will you be able to put it in the chat, Sammie?
Yeah, I should be able to. Did you send it to my?
I think it's copy and paste, isn't it?
Okay.
Oh, it's that one.
Yeah, me too as well, Isa. Hey, Michael. We'll try and put the thingy in for you now.
Where does he want it? Does he want it as Instagram or in the chat?
You can put it in the chat, the YouTube chat. Tommy, I've been saying this since all this has been. I've been wanting to go out with it all. I've always felt that Humphreys, the puppet master, as I'm calling him, I always felt he was behind everything, right? Because he was the one that brought them into me as troll hunters. So even though I ignored them for a while, he was the one that I had trusted at the time to, oh, they're all right, the troll hunters are going to help you. It's insanity.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of catfish. What they tend to do as well is they set up, here, go, John, I've done it now. There. Yeah, they sort of set up fake things. So I had women messaging me, basically. There was a woman called Cookie Greenwood, and she was telling me that she was a woman producer, film producer, and that she only worked with women in film, and she had a website and everything. And yeah, at the end of the day, she was trying to ask me questions about the sexual assault, which was really weird. I thought, well, if this woman's not connected to any of these people, why is she mentioning this? And then it went on, and it was basically, yeah, she was another friend of Clark Tribe's. And it keeps, every time I get an attack from someone, it's someone that knows Aaron Twin and Clark Tribe.
Wow.
So, and Stu Armstrong was promoting Aaron Twin, because that's what Stu Armstrong does. He's a promoter for the U.K.B.K, not a very good one, may I add. And yeah, he basically decided to take Aaron to inside and promote that I was a liar to try and save face for Aaron. And that's what you're dealing with all the time. It's like they will say their side, and even if a person believes you, what I've noticed is a lot of the women don't want to believe me. The women just want to believe the men and still go partying with the men and just live in this little fantasy, and they don't really care about what happened to me. So I've kind of like, at first that really hurt, and I used to be quite an emotional wreck, but now I'm quite numb to it all. Yeah. So it's like, it's just the people that they are. It's not really on me. It's just going to be how they are, and they'll do it to other people. So yeah, it's definitely a learning experience. Like 6 years kind of made me a lot colder, and I don't trust people anymore. I don't allow myself to be in a room with just a male on my own, because they can just switch at any time. You can have a guy that's like nice to you for 3 weeks or 3 months, whatever, and then just literally switch on you one night because he wants to do whatever, and then turn around and tell everyone you're a liar and try and victimize you even more and make people hate you because you dared talk out about what they did to you. You're just going to have to learn. I think you got to learn to know what people to put your energy into, because some people just want to see you hurt.
Yeah, spot on. Absolutely spot on. It's awful. John's saying John's saying, I've lost it now. He's saying that his phone's overheating. John, can you not jump back on for 5? I think there's still Tommy's still speaking, I think. He's interested, so he knows so much about all this, doesn't he, John?
He knows loads. I mean, he told me everything I needed to know, all the people. I had no idea that Clark Tribe at the time was so embedded in the U.K.B.K boxing. And then that made sense when I was getting bullied from all these people in the U.K.B.K boxing. I couldn't understand why hundreds of strangers were like coming at me. I was like, where are you coming from? And then the Humble Dryer, he was another one. So really, I had the U.K.B.K, the Firm Fellas, and Humble Dryer bringing all their own people into it. And like I say, it just went massive. And then the next thing, I'm the biggest bitch on the internet. It's not nice being accused of somebody that would lie about such a thing. That's disgusting. Right. And you kind of lose respect because people think that you're like, I don't need to lie about that to get attention. I make films. I get attention on Facebook all the time. It's what comes with the industry. I don't need to go out and get attention for anything. And then we had people like Flying Monkeys, like a woman called Kellyanne Mitchell, who was actually an actress in Roofed. And she basically went around telling people that I went on the Jeremy Kyle show and got roasted. And I didn't. So people started to believe that I'd gone on this Jeremy Kyle show, and, all these, people just listen to gossip and they don't actually get the facts right. And they talk and they act before they actually get the facts. No one ever thought to ring me up, see how I'm doing, or ask my side of the story. It was kind of like, she must be a liar. So yeah, it's kind of
crazy, isn't it?
Just the people you're dealing with, though. That's all it is.
I know. Someone's asking, John, do you have another device that we can call you on? I've just tried to ring him there. I'll try him again. 2 seconds. He said his phone's overheating. I think StreamYard does make the phones overheat. John, people asking if you can speak on the phone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, 2 seconds. Right, has anyone got any more questions?
I keep getting like timed out because it's overheating. But any question is a reasonable question, I'll answer it.
Yeah. So John's going to take any questions that any of you forgot. If Tommy, if you can repeat your question, because I think I've lost it. Yeah, his phone is reconnecting. Yeah. But he learnt me a few things about it all. Sammie Lei, you will get justice. We all know you're not telling lies. They're just sick. And that's Tyneside Tradesman. He's a lovely lad. Yeah. And she's got loads of people behind her, hasn't she? Honestly, bless her, she said to me yesterday, she said, I couldn't just sit back and just let you do this on your own. And you did, didn't you, Sam? And it was like, I'm so proud of her because will you explain your thing you've got coming out, and so people can know your documentary and stuff?
About the what? Sorry.
About what you've got coming out in the documentaries in the film?
Oh, the movie. Oh, yeah. So I've got the documentaries. So are you talking about the documentary or the movie we've got coming
Both.
out?
You tell them about both.
Okay. So yeah, we've got the documentary that I've just done. The reason I did that was because I saw Emma's video and I realised that this humble dryer was still playing games with other people. Basically, new supply. That's what you are, my darling. New supply. And I thought, you know, I have to tell this whole story from start to scratch, because there's so many people like Aaron Twin, Clark Tribe, Humble he's more out in the open now, but you know, they were all sort of hiding in the background and letting all these flying monkeys do the dirty work. So over the last sort of few years, I've been connecting all the dots and saying, oh, this person knows this person, video evidence, photo evidence, statuses they put up in their own fucking names. You know, this woman messaging me and then tagging everyone in it. I mean, the cheeky cow, she said, oh, in her status it said Clark Tribe, Charlene Aldridge, Mason Fardo, which I don't know Charlene Aldridge, but Mason and Clark were in my film Roofed, and they started all this back in 2017. And yeah, it was kind of like, why is this woman messaging me? I don't understand. And then when I looked into it, I saw some names, I saw your video, and slowly over the last 2 weeks, little things have happened. Like people have contacted me, and I kind of felt like something's brewing. Yeah, and that's what I said to John. I kind of felt like something was brewing in the wind, and that's why I said, like, we just got to tell our story. That's all we can do.
I'm so happy because I can remember asking, does anyone know Sammie Lei? Didn't I? Because people had said, get in touch with Sammie, and you said, oh, they're the worst trolls. My only advice is to stay away. Do you remember? And then I was really shocked but amazed that you contacted again.
Yeah, it was actually Paula Benny that let me know. She said that you would put a call out for me. So if it wasn't for her, we probably would have never spoke, because I didn't see your comment, you know. So that's what I mean. There's so many people in the outskirts, you know. Paula was affected herself as well. There's other people that, you know, that have come forward and they weren't believed, or they were manipulated, and they were, you know, exactly what's happening to you, the lies, the rumors, the bullshit, the fake news. It's basically propaganda. That's how they work, and they manage to affect so many women and men as well. You know, they've done it to everyone. But yeah, enough's enough. Humble, get a fucking life, you moron. The fuck is wrong with you?
I know. And her as well. I just can't believe the way that she came on there and was putting the tears on and all that. And I thought, what about all the people's tears that have been spilt over yous?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she's playing like a victim.
Yeah.
And well,
that's what they do, babe. The narcissist will always turn around the situation to make out you're the abuser. I've had that with so many men. Not many women, believe it or not, but I've had a lot of men that have abused me, done some horrendous things to me, whether I've been in a relationship with them or not. And then when I've had the mouth back, or I've done something like put a video out and tell people what you put me through, they've gone and then run to the police or the courts and said, you know, oh, she's the aggressor, when they're making out like I've killed someone's baby or something. I haven't. All I did was tell my story to you guys, to the public, and they hate it. Like when I think the best way to deal with a bully like these, right, online cyber stalking, is to set up a page and just document everything. Add your friends and your family, and then over time they'll be able to keep up. I mean, I've got friends that are watching tonight that have been following this for 7 years. So every time I put something up, they know exactly what I'm talking about and who I'm talking about. And
see,
that's
when I was trying to explain it to some of my friends who don't go on YouTube and stuff, and they were saying, why are you so upset? And I was like saying, oh, but this one's saying this and done a video about this, and they were like looking at me as if I was like going crazy. And then I was thinking, am I going crazy? Do you know what I mean? And it's only through the other people that have come forward and been through it that I realised that I wasn't going crazy, because at first they start to make you think you are, don't they?
It's horrible. You'll be sitting there, it'll be like 3 o'clock in the morning, and your phone will go ding, and you'll have a look, and there's like either a link sent to you that's got something about you that's not very nice,
Yeah.
I've had my face put into refaces where I'm a prostitute or a crackhead or going into a nut house. That was another one. Yeah, just like they'll put things on your work pages, like they call, like me personally, they called me a liar. They call me Sammie Lei, not Sammie Lei. Doing anything they can to just make people hate you.
Yeah, like they call Bride Alive. They call me 20 stone enabler and a prostitute, and
it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
And she's even gone as far as going onto my personal before I was married name and taking photographs of that. Then they've made a Brian and Emma account, and as if they're posting me doing these massages, which is really Brian's cousin's account, which she's a beautician and does massage and sports therapy.
Oh yeah, they twist and manipulate everything. Yeah,
absolutely. Insanity.
Well, so what? Even if you did do that for a living, it was at least you got a job.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? I like, who are these men to be The thing is with these men, the reason why they are so angry is because their members probably lower in size than average, and also they don't know how to keep a woman happy. So they can't hold a normal relationship down. They have to bully and they have to, you know, use and abuse. They don't know how to have a happy marriage.
I mean, you brought your children up wonderful, and they're, like you said, one of them's going in the army and stuff.
My daughter's in the army, so serving the country. I'm well proud of her. And my son's 23 years old. So people think I'm a lot younger than what I am because of the films and the photos. But yeah, I'm getting on. I don't need this bullshit. No, especially from some men that, you know, like, yeah, okay, you got the man that attacked me, and then you've got his best mate. You can understand why he'd stick up for him. But the rest of them that got involved, I don't understand why. What did I do so wrong to those people to make them doubt me when they don't even fucking know me? And it's disgusting. You know, these women are like Maxine Carr. They're the sort of women that will sit there, watch a man rape you and then help him cover it up.
Yes, I do believe that. I think 100%. Someone's saying there, Sammie, that one of the trolling accounts of Amanda Humble was Natalie Rafter.
Yeah, I remember that account.
Yeah,
I remember that account. Yeah, I was getting some nasty messages on YouTube from that account. Just basically the same thing, calling me a liar. I mean, it doesn't bother me anymore. Like I say, I know what happened, and the big man upstairs knows what happened. So we'll deal with it when the time comes, won't we?
That's right. Amanda Jesus saying Carla Golding. Yeah, that was another one. Totally. Yeah, that's one of the ones she admitted was her account to me, Amanda. But there's been that many names. It's like.
And see what happens when you talk, people come out with more information.
Yeah.
And before I met John, I didn't have a fucking clue what I was dealing with or who I was dealing with. I mean, I hadn't even spoke to Clark in about a year. So I had no idea he was even a part of it until people started tagging him in shit. And all the people were connected to this Gangster Tours and Humble, and it's the same ring. It's just the same people. So when I contacted Dave and he kind of made out like, I asked him to help me, can you please put a stop to this? And he said, look, babe, I've got nothing to do with it. I'm not a firm fella. Like, it's not, that's a different crew. But I think he was lying. Honestly, I'm probably the only person that will, you know, when Dave died, I was pretty taken back and I was like, oh my God. But then I thought a bit of relief because I thought there's no glue now to hold these arseholes together. Yeah. You know, of course I'm sad. You know, I don't hold anything against Dave. I've never had issues with Dave, but he either was aware or unaware that he was holding this group together that were going out and abusing people. Like I say, not just women, men as well, and children. From what I hear, I don't know if that bit's true, and I don't want to comment on whether that is true, but yeah, it's not nice. And if I was ahead of something like that, I would do my best to make sure that sort of shit didn't go on within the group. But when you're dealing with people that follow the Cray twins, people that were paedophiles, rapists, women abusers, like, you can't expect anything better from these people. I just got myself into a bad circle of people and they won't leave me alone. And now it's happening to other people as well. And what can you do? Like,
it's awful, Sammie, it really is. And as I say, I'm just so proud that you're coming out and you're actually talking.
You as well, babe. You as well. It takes a lot because I know what they do to you. The sleepless nights, the constant looking over your shoulder. You know, you get so much cortisol, trying
Yeah.
to live in like flight mode and, you know, fighting all the time and worrying, that actually when you find out who these people really are and they're nothing to be scared of, they're just fantasists, you know, little boys having a wank down the internet, you know, it's like, that's all they've got. It's like, get on with your life.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
He's back. John, are you gonna?
Yeah, that was perfect timing, because I would like John to tell you about the fake account on YouTube and Facebook.
Right.
We can get him back. That was perfect timing.
Ask your questions. I'm here till 9. Right, hold on 2 secs. Hold on, I think I'm getting some strange messages.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay attention to the troll messages, babe, because that's what they want.
Oh no, she's saying, the lady's saying, I won't say her name, keep going. Just hearing the podcast, one thing I picked up on was how corrupt the police are. Anyone to do with that system. My son was in petty crime. On his record, was released from prison. Are you all right? I'll read that out in a second. My blood boils because of
So
coppers.
what was the question, Sammie?
Yeah, I was just going to tell him, did you want to tell her about the fake account that Ronnie's resurrected from hell?
Oh, so what was quite comical was the other day, I thought, although I'm no longer on Facebook, I created what is called a ghost account, where you can then, if anyone's blocked you or whatever, you can then look at what they're saying about what's going on. Because what they try and do is a thing called cloaking. So what they do is they'll block me, and then they'll be on their account saying, oh, I'm this and that, and I'm not answering. What they've done is they've blocked me, and that's what they do, is they tell all the others to block me, so then I can't tell them the truth. Yeah, so what we've just noticed recently is on a page with Charlie DX, Nancy Cray, Maureen Flanagan, and Ronnie Cray. He's fucking dead. So this cunt is talking to DX, but it's DX, so she's come back as Ronnie Cray, and she's so deluded. Her name is Day, not Cray, and she killed a man in cold blood, accusing him of being a fucking sex offender, and he wasn't one, and I've got the evidence to prove it.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Everybody's got their own circle. I mean, I didn't really have much to do with this Charlie Cray. She's given shit to John, but she's good friends with Clark Tribe. So they've teamed up together to come at me and John.
Correct.
And I didn't know any of this until things like, it's taken 5 years to work this all out. So it's pretty clever in a way, but thankfully for me, John knew how to play the game, and he's taught me. I learned from the best. So
yeah.
Karma's sort of shown her face now, and they're having to reap what they sow. But Humble Dryer, I know he's watching, and he's nothing but a little leprechaun. And
Yeah, that's exactly what he is.
He's old enough to be my granddad, and he's bullying young women. I mean, how do you feel, Humble, actually, that you spend your evenings when your wife's across the living room? Like, is your sex life that bad that you have to contact other women?
It's weird, isn't it?
Really weird. Really fucking weird. I don't know. I don't have a clue why this guy got involved, why he would air my rapist's best mate on a podcast 6 years after the rape, why he would keep trying to torture me. I have no idea, but they're just monsters.
Somebody's saying John Silver, how does Donna fit into all this? It can't just be Humble.
So when I was first approached by them, what happened for me is I saw Geraldine and the video that was put out by them of what happened to Geraldine via U.K.B.K. And it was the reason that I joined Humble. So we were meant to be anonymous. We were meant to be all in there together. Myself, Steve Rafe, Christian Roberts, many others, but there was never John. He was in the background, who I thought was my ex-governor. He was another supervillain I'll talk about at a later point. But as I said, this is so complex. And I saw someone earlier say something about, oh, it's a bit much for YouTube for this evening. Guys, we are just pulling the curtain back and showing you just how bad social media has become. And it got a lot worse then. This is the tip of the iceberg, everyone. I advise everyone, so if their children are on social media under the age of 16, remove them.
Yeah.
Because it will fuck their minds up.
Because we are going to carry on with this, aren't we, John? We're going to take it right down there.
There's a line here that realistically, this is not a hate campaign. This is not about us shouting and then shouting back.
No.
This is about trying to put this to bed. I want everyone to stop targeting Sammie Lei. I want everyone to stop targeting Emma and any of the girls, and only the girls that go through Sammie or Emma are going to talk to me, and I can show you how we can stop this overnight. Because since I've been working with Sammie and Emma and Sammie, have you been attacked since?
No.
No, only from that Stacey Busher and Clark Tribe. That was about a couple of weeks ago. So I've got that going on, but none that was personal. That was a personal attack. That's not a flying monkey attack. I think the flying monkeys need to just stop now. And if any one of the Humble Dryer or Clark Tribe or Aaron Twin or anyone asks you to do something or send a message to either me, Emma, or John, don't do it, because now you know what you're putting us through, and you know that you're being used for an abuser's game. So why would you continue to do it, Stu Armstrong? Why would you still get involved knowing what they are? Yeah, it's disgusting. So you're either in that group or out of it completely. So I'm sick of people sitting on the fence.
They've got a choice, haven't they?
Somebody else is saying, John Silver, our Humble's police informers. There's quite a few questions for you. Yes, yeah.
Yes, and yes. I mean, they've got to be, because they've never been arrested. I've had guns pointed at me. Danny, I know you don't talk about Danny Christie right now, but I'm just going to go through the Humble situation. Yes, I've got to tell my.
Yeah, of course.
Without telling the story about them two, it doesn't make any sense.
Of course.
So Danny, me, and Ricky Picking we were being used by Humble to really target Heggie. Now, the reason we were targeting Heggie was he was using his page to then target vulnerable women. And that is 3 recorded videos of 3 different people that he has basically raped. Though he's in a relationship with him, he's such a monster in bed that he thinks anal sex is love. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not love. That's just a monster. But the reason Heggie is the way he is he's one of them. So along with Dave Courtney and the rest, the sex parties and the things that went on back in the day, I've got so much information and evidence. But this time we are working with the police, because all this shit about coppers pencil, about down grass. I'm sorry, this isn't about grassing. This is about stopping men targeting women and children online, which is what the original Humble page was set up for. But all of the others that have stayed quiet, Steve Rafe, Puppet Master, and others, you know, there's this thing that they then set up this other thing called Sparta boxing. So what they're really trying to do is.
That's Clark Tribe that's done that. That's Sparta. He's part of that.
Yes, I knew it was connected to that.
That rings a bell.
Yeah.
So, I mean, things just keep coming out. It's like
word vomit. Getting another piece of the jigsaw, and you just think, "Oh, I said that a year ago."
It's very simple. Their primary idea or objective is to wipe us out and take over now Dave's dead. But with Dave dead and Neil gone, there are a lot of other people, including Steve Rafe, that's got videos on YouTube that sells out Dave. Because he walks away. He did, I give him credit, but he walked away from it in the end. And then carried on with his, the Northern fucking connection. That's ended up in misery for this Chew because of fucking Humble Dryer.
Yeah, causing absolute lies and deceit.
Again, although Steve is a puppet master, he's had to leave his fucking home, because this is how dangerous this becomes. Because once it goes from social media and then off into the real world, they can very easily track and find us.
It wouldn't surprise me if Humble Dryer was part and parcel of them attacks on everybody's.
We think we've come to the decision that realistically what we really think, as I said, is something at that top is powering with this to cause the drama on social media, to then sell books and get people at their boxing events. It's just follow the money, everyone. Follow the money. It becomes very clear, very obvious.
Tolly's saying, was Donna involved with the Firm Fellas before Humble, and does she have police links?
So I've never met her in person, but she said she may have met me at Cooley's. So yeah, I do believe if she was there. It's going to be at the 50th birthday for Joey, where I was a VIP at that event with Charlie DX Cray and my ex-girlfriend. Look, for this time being, because of the drama it caused, and as I said, none of you really know. I've had our houses attacked. I've had guns pointed at me. I've been firebombed. All my friends and family have been targeted. They've had to come away from social media completely because of what I say on here. I've been arrested on numerous occasions under false allegations, because when they say something, they come with Riot Squad, and they really come at me heavy, as the videos are proof, as we're going to put out in the main film. In the main film, I'm hoping that Sammie agrees with me, that what we're going to try and do with that film is not make any money out of it. That if it is done properly,
Yeah.
and it should go to, you know,
some like charity to help other women, in it.
And to protect against this, what
Protect,
we could do is
and
create
kids'
something
photos.
that I want to show on our charity events. I will show complete transparency, and I'll put it up online where every single, I mean penny, down to the penny, I'll show you why I spent it, and I'll show you what I gave to the charity. Why they have no charity numbers. They've had 2 bars in this house, no drink license. I don't know why we can't get Bossum nicked, but I have been sat down by professional, proper, high-end coppers that don't wear uniforms. When I asked the question, is Dave Courtney an informer? They said, we can't tell you. Now, what they were saying is, if they could tell me, then he isn't. Because they couldn't tell me, Frank Fraser and everyone else that said what we said about Dave was a fact. So he's been selling all of us out for years, as long as he wins. At any cost. At any cost. A narcissist at a level like I've never seen other than Heggie himself. But don't forget, they all looked up to us. So everyone's sort of become them. But the real ones are dead. Where these people are fucking, we all say like these people, right? And it should be a fucking title for a book, because of the amount of nutters on here that have tried to involve themselves in this, but were never part of anything.
I mean,
bird shit.
There's people.
Bird shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect word, yeah. That's exactly what they are.
And others that are caught in these groups that we know are sex offenders. Now, I have groups. I created those groups, the paedophile hunters groups, some of them belong to me. And I was so high up in the fucking firm, fellas. Like, I'm in the elite group, or I can still contact people that are at a high level, a high grade, that don't ever want to do this, but they're speaking to us in the background, and everyone's happy, and they're advising us. And we're even working with the police on it this time. 7 different police forces are involved in this time. Cumbrian Police, Scotland Police, the Met Police, Essex Police. Sammie's got stuff ongoing. You guys have got, Emma and Brian got stuff ongoing. But
they don't turn up to us. Brian's on bail.
Why have the old bill never stopped us? Why have the old bill never shut this shit down?
Well, that's what they're trying to do, because they won't respond to. They never responded to my 999 call, but they've got Brian.
Because we all live in different area as well, so different police don't actually. You know how like medical records, if you have a heart attack, you go to the hospital, your medical records are attached. It doesn't happen with the police, so that's why, you know, that guy Ian Huntley that killed those 2 little girls. They didn't know that he had previous, because he'd moved to a different county and got a job in a school.
No, I know what you're saying, but I don't agree totally on that one, because Brian's medical records they were talking about Brian's medical records and how things could be changed on them. The iPhone 999, when the petrol bomb attack hit the car, they walked right past the smoking car and arrested Brian for threat to kill. Right, which he's Stuart caught for. Then they didn't come out to any more of the petrol bombs that week, and then they've arrested Brian again recently for threats to kill again, which is a load of garbage. Brian's in hospital really, really poorly. So I do believe the likes of Paddy and the likes of Brian, etc., that these people like Humble and stuff are behind trying to set people up for certain things, and which is a load of lies. And I do believe what Paddy says about it is part and parcel. And I believe that they're definitely working with the police. I believe Donna Humble could be part of some kind of intelligence with the police for sure, because nobody would go on day in, day out trying to get people lifed off for stuff that is a load of lies. And that's exactly what they're doing.
He has no part to play in this.
No.
But he has absolutely no part to play in this.
No. No.
He ain't no gangster, and he ain't part of gangland. And the thing is, there's no such thing as gangsters. They're villains, not gangsters. Gangsters really only applies to the Americans, not us. We're not the fucking mafia, or nor those wanky little crows.
No.
Because if they didn't get nicked, everyone's going to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And there's evidence to that effect.
Yeah.
Like they were going to get rid of Dave at one point because of the fucking fact that he's a police informer. There's informers.
I think they've all got handlers.
That's grassing.
Well, he was known for having a police handler, wasn't he? Dave.
Of course he did. His code name is Tommy Mac. Fact.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
I'm not telling no lies. Steve Wraith knows more about this than I do. He could put a video out after he listens to this, because they're all listening.
Well, but he's got police handler as well. He's another one.
We've all got fucked because of this, but we can't get Wassam nicked. We couldn't get Heggie nicked. We couldn't take Heggie down. And then he's doing films for fucking Sky.
Tommy's just come out with something. Right, can you explain this, John? Because Tommy's come out with something and it's made me ill because it's been on my mind. Do you know I told you about the baby in the bath, the 18-month-old baby that Wason was going on about towards Decca? He kept mentioning a baby in the bath. See, somebody else has mentioned it there, like the baby in the bath.
I don't know. Listen, I'm going to be very honest and blunt, right? The only things that I know about is what Rhonda recorded when a police officer gave the information about what Heggie has done. So I didn't know about him trying to get a girl to masturbate. So that's what he does. He was using his social media to target very vulnerable people. And we have evidence to that effect. So that page should have been shut down. I said to Heggie when we had the virtual fight club and when Sammie was involved in Fair Price, I said to him, just drop your pages, bruv, and we'll leave you alone. But he couldn't because he's making $4,000 a month out of it. You know, he kept doing them videos in Thailand, but you know, also fucking Buckland was in Thailand, and I was friends with him, but his wife just pointed me away from him. You know what I mean? And I don't know why. Or is it, you know, about making money and fucking, you know, now calling it a Buckland fucking governor bill? The governor bill at this present time is dead. I don't want to hear no more about government fights. Otherwise, I will really play up.
Justice for Chantal. Humble's in hiding. His man for wardrobe hoping I don't find him. And Donna is
Humble's falling apart, everyone. He's talking to me in the background. Humble Dryer, John Murray Wasson, is talking to me in the background because he's saying to me, oh, you're getting dragged in by these girls. Girls, you always can get me dragged in. If they're attacking you, then I'm here for you.
Yeah. Thank you. Armchair criminal. 2 seconds. Let me have a look. Thank you, Justice for Chantal.
I'm watching the football in the background, so I apologise.
Yeah. Humble gets missionary twice a year, Christmas and birthdays. Manta, probably the way it goes on, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Can't
Let me talk, Emma. Please, Emma. Say something to the people that are listening. During the early start of this, no, everyone's left me alone until obviously the call to myself and Ash was published, and then Fishy Fingers put another recording out. So we were being quite friendly in the background at the start of this. But I've been talking to him, and I said to him, "Why don't you put these recordings up like you do everyone else?" I said, "Don't edit it though, because he's now blocked me from Instagram from tagging him. So yes, he's about to run everyone. Fucking policeman, Officer fucking Wasson is about to run." Thailand, the rest of those.
Well, you were saying today that you thought that he was police, didn't you? For sure, because
I think he's working for the police.
Yeah, exactly.
To take down what is left of the old of gangland, so that these new crays and the rest of these widows like to fucking tribe, and there are others, but there's some who will leave alone if they now walk away. If they choose to carry on, welcome to Virtual Fight Club, where they can take me on at any point. Quick pro quo. You ask me a question, I ask you a question. No shouting, no arguing, no fuck all.
Justice for Chantal is saying.
Call me out. I'm telling the truth.
Justice for Chantal is saying. I'm asked John to see if he knows anything about the Truth Seeker. Now, it's not the old Truth Seeker. This is an absolute lunatic that's appeared on. I presume it's the same one, Justice for Chantal.
Anyone on fucking YouTube under illusionary character names that won't show their face, some of them are friends of mine that want nothing to do other than ridicule them, which I love that. COVID idiot, I love you, brother. I love you out there, you know what I mean? You're the real deal.
Yeah, this is Truth Seeker who I think's Donna. Yeah, I think it could be Donna behind that channel. I think it's definitely a woman.
Let's imagine, right, for 1 second, if we take all the bullshit away, that they're both lunatics on social media just to try and drive all of us mad. But what happened is that they fell apart. I made a warning to John. If he carries on with this, it will go crazy, because both myself and Sammie, we did.
Will you tell him?
Suicidal because of this.
Will you tell him what he said to you about me?
Yeah, they're just trying to warn me off of you.
He said it's personal now. He's not stopping, is he?
No, I'm sorry, that bit. Okay, so I asked him, so everyone that's listening, I asked John, with respect, while we were still being amicable, I said, please leave Emma alone. He went, no, it's personal now.
Yeah, so well,
I've got the recording.
well,
I've got the recording. He'll probably try and drop it, because if he's hearing this, he'll just delete it now. But I've already recorded it, John Murray Watson.
Yeah.
Or shall I say Officer Watson? From here on in, Officer Watson.
Yeah.
We fucking got your number, bruv.
But John, I did say to you that I wasn't going to stop as well, didn't I? As soon as you started putting threats out and trying to destroy people's lives with lies, I told you I wasn't going to stop. So, end of. Anna Connolly, lovely to see you. Let me have a look. 2 seconds. See if there's any more questions for you, John, because are you quite popular, you, John, you know?
Thank you.
Isn't he, Sammie?
Listen, this is not about, I don't want no fucking gifts. There's going to be no pages where I'm trying to make money out of anyone. I've always done this with my fucking hand on my heart to stop what has happened to the girls, to Geraldine, to Paula, to Sammie, to Emma, and there's fucking thousands of others that have been speaking to me, but they were so scared to come out before now. So me and Sammie have put our face to this. No gimmicks, no fucking
Thank you,
fillers.
you too.
Just us telling the truth. That's all we're doing, is telling you our side of the story. They can all now do videos and say we're lying, call us fucking sex cases, but they've got no evidence. But everything me and Sammie have got is fucking huge. It is so big that none of you would even believe it. But you'll see films, you'll see books, but they're not going to be anything to make money other than for the right place. I mean, you'll see. If I didn't get seen in the future doing something dodgy in relation to charities, well, then please call me out. You know, because that's not fucking on. And I'm not having enough of them and their shit and their shit stories. The Crays were Jewish, horrible little fucking rapey, killing fucking rent boys, paedophiles, simple as. I'm sorry to say it, the fucking Cray lovers, but the truth is the truth and the evidence is out there.
Yeah. Does John Silver know anything about the Apollo account and who they were working for? I'm convinced that was brought in by Ray.
100%. I'm not interested in all of those accounts that do not have their motherfucking face like me and Sammie have on house. Yeah, no more hiding unless you're doing certain things where, you know, you don't want to be part of this bullshit. Because believe me, the devil doesn't change everyone. It just changes you.
Yeah. But I'm so, I mean, there's people in the chat, there's women in the chat. I mean, there's one lady in the chat whose deceased husband was brought up by these people. There's another lady in the chat who her and her daughter were brought into madness and arrested. It's absolutely horrendous when you think back to how much trouble and stuff they're causing. It's horrendous, John.
Can I say something? Publicly to Steve Rafe. Please help me, Steve. Come back into the right fold, bruv. Like, you know what I mean? No.
Steve Rafe don't not come anywhere near me.
I'm not saying come work with you. I'm asking him to put a video out and tell the truth. Just tell the truth, Steve.
No. Steve Rafe, I'll never ever trust that man in my life. And
I agree with you.
He's a part and parcel of it all.
This isn't about sharing hate, it's about sharing love. This is about God. We're now children of God. They are they're fucking devils, these people. I'm
not going to forgive him any time soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Humble said about you, remember?
Yeah, well.
The longer this goes on, we are adults, and I forgive.
I feel the same way about Stu Armstrong, so I get it, Emma.
Yeah, thank you, Sammie. And I'm not, no way in this world the upset and everything he's caused by bringing these people into my life and what they've done to other people, innocent people. Anna, her partner Viv, was tragically.
With love and respect, Emma. With love and respect, like as I said, like so realistically, like yourself and Paddy and what's going out, right? So that's that northern connection. I'm really the London connection.
Yeah.
Like anyone else asking me about fucking weird accounts and all that, I'm not here for that, guys. You know, I'm trying to fix this problem. I'm going to show you the real people behind it, not the fucking people that are just, as Sammie calls, flying monkeys, but they're sperm fellas.
Yeah, well, then they need outing anyway, don't they? All of them for what they get up to, for sure.
Oh, we're looking on that, Sam, aren't we?
Yeah, well,
yeah. There's I've got quite a few, to be honest. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's worse than crazy. It's become perpetual madness.
Yeah.
I also asked Bernard O'Mahony to do a video now, which he promised to do. Well, I backed down, and then Dave shot himself in the head because he didn't want this. He didn't want all of you to realise he's really Jimmy Savile from Gangland. That's that's just the truth. I'm sorry, everyone loves Dave, and I'm sorry, and everyone's going to say, "Oh, now he's dead." I was calling him out years ago, and I've got the evidence to prove it. Dave is the head, and always was the head, directly under the crazes. He's going in and out of fucking prison, taking presents in, so that the fucking craze can get sucked off. Fact. Steve Raver's also guilty of that. Also, Maureen's guilty of that, of taking stuff in and out so that the guys in there could fucking just do what they wanted. But the guys that were out here at these charity events and all these parties ripping the fuck out of people. Charlie Crane was the one responsible for that.
Yeah.
So Sammie, are we going to get your links and stuff? Can you tell people how they can what?
Yeah. So basically, the film, like I say, the documentary was out 5 weeks. Well, no, about 4 weeks ago. So that's on my Facebook. It's had loads of views already. It just tells my story from start to finish, who people were in Rooford, how I met Dave, how I became subject to this gang, sex ring, whatever you want to call them. And basically, the Jeremy Kyle show's in it. It's got all the information. But also, we're doing a film about narcissistic abuse that we started filming on the 22nd of June. And that should be ready in January to watch on Amazon. So it's basically teaching the tricks and the traits of the narcissist and how they use social media to torment you, how they use the police and the courts to torment you, and then how they go on to get all the flying monkeys by telling other people that you're the abuser, when in fact you've got so much evidence to prove that they're the abuser. But because they cut you off, like John was saying, you don't have any way of telling your story. So I wanted to say a big thank you to Emma, because I do know that you've got a connection or doorways through to people like the U.K.B.K and the firm. And like I say, I'm not blaming everybody within those groups. I'm not saying everyone knew or knows, but now you do. And I'm just asking you to stop supporting these horrible men that are using you to come at women that they've attacked or bullied or whatever the reason is. Why would you listen to a word Humble Dryer says now when there's so many people that have proved him to be what he is? You know, why air it? Why allow him? Why help him? Why set up an account and message someone like Emma something horrible and you don't even know her? It's a mentality I don't think we're ever going to be able to change. You know, it's pretty hard. So
I believe that if Brian was if I do believe that if Brian had been fit, I do believe that Humble wouldn't have done half the things he's done. But they seem to have waited for Brian to be
vulnerable. Yeah, that's what they do.
And stuff. And then they can call him all names under the sun. Same with Anna's husband, and who's in the chat. Her husband was tragically murdered. They've just upset so many people, Sammie. But it seems to always be that they'll go more for the women, like you did with yourself, and it's horrendous. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, the problem is, I don't know whether, like, what I'm still trying to work out was I raped because Clark sent these boys onto my film production to do it out of revenge? Or did this guy just have an opportunity to do what he did to me and then everybody stuck up for him? I still can't understand, like, which way it was. Because I didn't even know that these men knew Clark at first. They were all on different parts of the film. They didn't work together. So for them to all now be best buds and collaborating and putting like tags and threatening to kill me and all the other things that they've done, it's like their masks have fallen off now, and it's like enough's enough. Just stop it. Just stop doing it. And can everybody else that has seen it just stop doing it? Stop making it. You're giving him a platform to carry on doing it. You're making him think he's a gangster by playing along with the guns and the photos, and you know, it's Dave's no longer here. And there's no need to continue the facades, really. I hear that they're recrowning someone, apparently. I don't know who that's going to be. But I would hope now that the firm fellas has become such an embarrassment, that nobody would want to be a part of it, really.
No.
Knowing what they do. The same happened with Victoria's Secret models. You know, as a little girl, I used to follow Victoria's Secret, the Playboy Mansion. I was like, oh, in awe of these women. I didn't have a bust when I was little, so looking at these beautiful women, I was like, oh my God, that's what I want to be. And it turns out that actually most of those models were abused, sexually abused, physically abused, mentally abused. And it all came out that the guy that owned, not going to say names, I don't want to get in trouble, but the guy that owned the publications for all that was an abuser, just like the Jimmy Savile stuff, just like the Prince Andrews. There are people out there that are very bad people that manage to pretend to be good, and until they actually attack people, there's nothing you can do, really.
Yeah, spot on, totally spot on. But we thank you all for listening, and I think we'll be doing a little bit more if well, then he's speaking, I'm trying to listen to him. Are you what? Yeah, definitely. John's saying he'll come on again. Will you come on again, Sammie?
Yeah, awesome, anytime.
Yeah, that'll be wonderful. And in the meantime, if you can go and subscribe to Sammie's channel, can you put your link in, Sammie?
Yeah, of course I can.
If you can put your link underneath. And if you look at Sammie's channel, she's got a lot of documentaries, and she's got a film coming out on all this.
There's a whole channel about this on YouTube. It's crazy. It dates back years. So have a ganders.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting a comment now in. Oh, yeah, good idea. I think you can comment in the chat as well, and people can click on you, can't they?
Yeah, I'll do that now. Yeah, just trying to find the share button on my video.
Thank you.
I'm crap at all this. Oh, there we go. It's up there. Share.
Hey, Paul. Newcastle United, Tracy. Yeah. Tommy. Newcastle United, Tracy. Yeah, 1,000,000%. Tommy, you're talking a lot of sense to you tonight. It's the first time I've seen your comments, by the way. I'm not saying that you don't use them. Yeah, so there's Sammie's channel. Is it gone in, Sammie?
Yeah, it should have. You see it?
I can't see it yet. 2 seconds. Sammie's channel. Oh, my voice. Is it gone in, Sammie?
Sorry. That's
yeah, should have. You see it?
Oh, I did put it in there. I don't know why it's not gone in. Hang on. There you go. You got that? It's under well known.
Well known, yeah. Well known. Is this one yours, Sammie? Under well known. I still can't see it.
Under what now? Well known. Franklin, hello people, just above him.
Right. Yeah, I can't see it on this end. Isn't that strange?
That is weird, yeah.
So that means that one of my moderators has blocked you commenting.
Oh, okay. That's a catfish for you. I've had loads of them. What I'll do is I'll send it to you on Messenger, and then you can put it on.
Right, I'll share the link now. Isn't that weird? So one of
they try all sorts. Nothing surprises me anymore, to be honest, babe. It's all a game to them. They think it's funny to do what they're doing to people.
All right, 2 seconds. I just find Sammie's. Julie, you're really good at this. Can you find Sammie's channel for me? Oh, is that it there? 2 seconds.
I'll try it on this one, see if it works here. Can you see it now?
Ah, yeah. I think Tracy's put it up, has she?
Oh, thank you.
That's it. So that's Sammie's channel, everybody.
Thank you, Tracy.
Oh, thank you, Andy. Glenn, Franklin, Jalise has put it up as well. Yep, there we go. Glenn, yeah, so we will get back onto it because it's really interesting, all the stuff that Sammie and John do know about. I've been looking into lots of it for a while now, as I knew the Puppet Master, that's where he was connected heavily. But yeah, it just needs exposing, a lot of it. That's it. He's still in hospital, and thank you very much, Big Sci Music, Drone and Blogs. Hopefully he'll be out in a couple of days. So there we go. But Sammie, thank you so much, and John, thank you so much, and everybody else, and Jalise, and everybody, thank everybody for coming in. And yeah, just also to Sammie's channel, and let's help push her film out in the documentaries because she's doing really well.
Yeah, I just hope it all ends for you now and they sort of lay off, because what I've noticed is once you've put something out there and you have mentioned, and they do lay off and they realise other people are watching.
I think I honestly don't think he's going to anytime soon. He's told John it's personal, but it's a bit personal between myself and him as well. Hiya, Stacey, thank you for coming in. Does John know if there was a lass by the name of Carla, the fella's nickname, Wednesday at the castle? Do you know? But she's just asking the question, like, but right. Was there a man's name called Wednesday that you can remember?
I'm not interested.
All right. Okay. Right.
Yeah, see, this is the problem, Emma, is you get other people, like I know you've got people following you that you know, but then you'll get people following you that will be Stu Armstrong or Clark or Aaron on fake accounts, and then they try talking to you. And that's why we're being more careful now. We don't want to talk to anyone. You've come on with your face and you've said that this is who I am, this is what I'm going through. But a lot of people don't do that, and from now on, you just got to stay away from false accounts.
Yeah. Well, Stacey's got rather a large channel, and she's been against Umbles for some time and looked right into Firm Fellas and led me with some very good information regarding Firm Fellas and stuff. So she's really a good person. Yeah, she's good.
I just have major trust issues now from everything that went on, and I've had so many catfish try and message me and get information.
Yeah.
Sammie?
Yeah.
The thing is, the public don't really understand fishing and catfishing. They don't really get it. It's probably...
Oh, we do know catfishing. Everybody knows about catfishing. There's been all kinds on about catfishing, hasn't there?
They really understand it. The technology and the ideas behind some of these things are far more elaborate than what I'm letting on.
Yeah, definitely, John. Stacey trolls Humble. Yeah, that's right. She does. And makes videos about him in a hunt piece. She does. She's a good girl. So thank you everybody for coming on, and he doesn't need to be so rude about it. I know that's what I think as well. I said as well. I'm very much like you, like that. So she only asked her a question at the end of the day. Right. Sorry about that, Stacey, but I will try and ask the other ones that I know that have been around there and try and get you the answer to that. Thank you for coming in. Elsie will need plenty of rest, and thank you everybody. I'm going to end this now. Thank you. Right, cheers. Thanks. Bye.